Kansas.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oklahoma.
I never expected this black cloud. You know, this is the end of the day. I'm at the hotel, and this black cloud is just after me. You're right. It was an experience.
Do you want to maybe talk about your?
Well, Al, this is just a kind of a PS, because I don't have nearly what to say that Al had, but he mentioned to you that the Hitler Youth was trained in marksmanship. Of course, they were developing soldiers. When you teach a youngster, 12 or 13 years old, how to shoot at 18, 19, he's in the Panzers or he's in the SS. Here's 3 examples of rifles that they used to train the young Hitler Youth. Okay, this first one right here, Richard may want to talk about because this is belongs from his collection. It's an air rifle. It's basically a Hitler Youth BB gun, if you will. And they started them out on this. It's called a MARS 115. I'll pick it up. Richard ought to be doing this. Al Kleindienst was good enough to identify the badges that are on both sides of the stock, which are, if I'm not mistaken, the Army marksmanship badge.
Right.
This is a lanyard that was worn on the uniform of a soldier who was expert marksman. So apparently the youths who had this rifle were awarded the little badges for good work. Oh, you'll also notice that these stocks and the size are here for y'all familiar with the German rifles of World War II, the K98Ks.
Right.
This was the same, about the same size. They were built to look and feel like a German service rifle, so the kids would get used to them. Not only that, but when you wanted to turn the factory in 1939, making these things into making regular infantry rifles, you could do it pretty quickly. So that's exactly what they did. They got around the Versailles Treaty by doing that. This is another form of a training rifle. This is called a DSM-34, Deutsche Sportsmodel. Okay, it also looks like the regular K98 Mausers, 22 caliber, single shot. The factory that was making this can turn out K98s pretty quickly when you wanted them to. This one was kind of interesting because it had the runes of the SS carved in the butt. So the SS were always trying to go into Hitler Youth training camps and try to pick off the older boys to join their divisions, the Waffen-SS. And they finally recruited enough of them to form an entire division at the end of the war, the 12th Panzer Waffen-SS. Hitler Jugend.
Yes, I was a rifle for a second. One of the things I just noticed, and when they had the BB guns for the, hold on, the other one.
This one?
Yeah. Then they wanted to familiarize the kids with real guns, and this is a spring and rod air rifle, and it's really driven by a piston instead of air. But they wanted to make these look as much like a K98 rifle in weight and feel, and even in the safety. You see the safety here in the back of the bolt. Well, this is a safety of sorts. You put it up and it blocks a sight line. It doesn't actually lock the bolt. There's no bolt to lock, and there's no trigger to lock. And so, but it familiarized a kid with what a safety was and how it functioned to turn it off and on. The only thing you'd have to do was it was up, and I guess an instructor would tell them put it up on safety. And if it was up when you went to fire, you knew it was up because you couldn't see the sight, so you'd have to push it down. But even if it was up, if the gun was cocked, it would still fire. These were awarded to German soldiers, not to kids, and it's a mystery how it got on this rifle, but it was on it like that.
What did that air rifle actually shoot?
BBs, 177 caliber BBs.
BBs?
And I think they were, instead of copper coated, they were made out of just straight lead. I mean, it's a spring-driven gun, and when you pull the bolt back, it engages a sear on the trigger and it holds the rear of the bolt here. It compresses a spring, and there's a rod, a piston in front of this. It doesn't push air to push the BB out. The BB actually sits on the end of the piston. It's like an old Daisy spring rifle. And, you know, and But anyway, it served a purpose to train kids.
The third example we have here for y'all to look at is also a Mauser. This is built on more of a target rifle. This is a 22 caliber, single shot, bolt action. This one is marked on the butt with a special mark though. It's burned into the butt here. Hitlerjugend Gebiet Franken.
Okay, beat
That-
is area, yeah.
So this was Hitler Youth of the Franken district, or area.
Right.
And that just so happened to be the district in northern Bavaria that a young Hitler Youth by the name of Joseph Ratzinger came from, who is now Pope Benedict XVI. So it's not inconceivable that the Pope might have fired this rifle at some time or another, okay? Because of the beautiful tiger stripe stock and so forth on this, and the fact it's a target rifle, it could have been used as a prize or an award for shooting. It's also got the Mauser marks on the butt and on the receiver. But y'all are welcome to examine these rifles at your convenience after you get up from the. I also have another example of a Hitler Youth knife here. This is a kind of an earlier version from 1933 to 36. But if you handle this, be careful because you can shave with it. So that's all I have to say, and I'm very pleased to be able to stay here and listen to Al speak about his experiences. It's a pleasure.